Hello again. Welcome back to WRT 1060, Composition 2, Oakland University. So, um, this video, let's talk about the Week 1 course overview. We'll talk a little bit about the syllabus, and kind of get an idea of what those things will look like each week when you log into Moodle. So, I'll do my best by sometime Monday morning, maybe sometimes on Sunday nights, maybe later in the day on Monday. I'll come out with the series of videos, or at least an introductory video for that particular week, kind of going over what to expect that week, as well as kind of highlighting the assignments and the readings and kind of how to navigate through maybe that particular week's course, especially during the first couple of weeks after that. I don't want to say we'll be on autopilot, but you'll kind of have that expectation and kind of have an understanding of what to expect. All right, so I'm going to minimize again down here, and of course I'm still on student view here of what the course looks like. So let's try the course syllabus here. All right, so it opens up for you. This is our course. As I mentioned before, there are 2 CRN numbers, so obviously one of those would apply to you. So I'm just going to be making one video. It's kind of covering both classes, as I discussed in the previous video. This is a lot of your standard fare. The primary things we're going to really be talking about in this course this particular semester is research, primary and secondary research, leading up to a research paper, which we will also present. So I'm going to talk a lot about the genre conventions, how to put text into conversation with one another, how to do primary and secondary research. Obviously, you probably have some experience with secondary research. Some of the primary research, obviously, with our current milieu, is going to be a little more challenging considering COVID. So those primary research methods, we can still come up with methods. There's still ways to go about obtaining primary research. And we'll talk about those other than just an interview. Obviously, the things we think about are email. Some other things we can think about too are we could do observations via the internet. We can also look at surveys. So we'll talk about a lot of those kind of things. You should still, if you just come from 1050 or if you're coming right into 1060, you may or may not already have Grizz rights. But that's our textbook that we will need. And I'm going to take 1 second here and just kind of talk about the technology backup plan. It's good to be thinking about, especially during these times now, to have a backup plan. Should you not have internet on a particular day, or if you know that you've got something coming up that's due, obviously save things into so many different cloud locations. I know that Moodle, at least here at Oakland, is very, very receptive to embedding your Google Docs when you are thinking about, or when you want to put together a submission. So you can put it in a Google Doc, and then I think Moodle will accept it fairly easily, so you can be quote unquote anywhere. So the biggest thing is, like, if you're maybe think you might have trouble with a working internet connection, have maybe a backup plan or somewhere else that you might be able to go to. I've found myself many times in the parking lot of, of a store that has free Wi-Fi or something like that to submit things, et cetera, et cetera. So think about some of those things as we move throughout the course. Academic conduct policy, obviously, don't plagiarize. And as we are participating a lot in this online, think about how we say things, even though we're not, we're going to miss the opportunity for inflections in our voice. We're going to miss the opportunity for people to see our facial expressions, to know that how we're saying it versus what we're saying, and even how those two things interconnect when we think about from a linguistic standpoint. So biggest thing for me is be respectful. Always lead off with, even if we're doing peer reviews, or you might not agree, or you may disagree, et cetera, with something maybe in a discussion board post over the course of the class. Let's think about how we say the things that we say, especially how they translate into text. I don't know why we have the absence policy included in here, but anyway, it's an online course. We're going to do a bunch of things online. We'll get into those later. But I do want to highlight, okay, probably what you're most concerned about, say, what do we have to do? What's the work we got to do? So we'll have next week, I know this is technically week 1, but we'll do there's a sample essay we'll do next week. There's discussion forums for us throughout the semester. We'll do peer reviews. And then we're going to start building this this big research paper that we're going to come up with. And it's kind of like the big kahuna, if you will. And it has several sections to it, and we're going to work on each one of those sections throughout. First, we're going to come up with topics over the next couple of weeks. Then we're going to write a proposal. Then we're going to take a lot of that information, what we find out in our proposal, if the proposal asks us to find out. Then we're going to put a literature review together, and that's when we're going to start putting these texts into conversation. And then we're going to develop some methods, do some data collection, and then formulate that all together through analysis of those results, and then discuss and kind of reach a conclusion about what we've discovered. And that will all come together in our final research paper, and then we'll also present those visually, if you will, or online. And then it will end the semester kind of having an overall reflection of the course. So that's kind of what to expect, or what we're going to be shooting for this semester. There's a bunch of verbiage in here in this late submission of work thing that's I think standard in this particular one, but from my standpoint, life happens. If you need some extra time or something comes up or whatever, just reach out to me and let me know. Here's how kind of like some of the basic criteria that I'll use, and of course I'll be giving you a bunch of feedback and stuff like that throughout the time. Most of these policies, if anything comes up that you need that is impeding your work in the class, or you having a time issue or anything like that that's come up, just reach out to me, okay? I'll accommodate you the best I possibly can. Okay, so this week we're going to do just introduction to the course and each other, and then we will discuss through the Form 1 to each other, and then this kind of gives you an idea of the schedule, our basic goals for each week. What the week 3, for example, discussion forum is going to be about, helping us think about topics, and when you post those. So that'll be pretty much a weekly thing. Post something by Friday, and then post responses or replies by Sunday. So you might think about that and plan accordingly. You can take a look at the rest of that schedule. Of course, we'll be getting into it in more detail. All right, so for this week 1, biggest thing to just familiarize ourselves with Moodle, especially if we're new to Moodle, or if you're new to online learning. Feel free to just kind of look through what we've got posted so far. A welcome video, which is above us in this particular on the page. It says welcome video. Then there's a course introduction video, which is kind of this video, which is going to be a week 1 overview / syllabus video, and then read the syllabus. And then only thing we're really going to worry about this week is the week 1 discussion forum. Introduce yourself. We're not doing the writing sample or any quizzes, so I'll take that off of there. Okay, so that's almost. Let me do one more thing. Let's go back to week 1, and let's look at. As we wait for Moodle to catch up with us. So our big thing this weekend is give us an opportunity to kind of work with the Moodle discussion forum. So by Friday, introduce yourself. Think about using some of these as your entry points, if you will, or something to talk about. Talk about your major, talk about things that you're interested in, talk about what you've been doing maybe during quarantine, etc., etc. Post those by Friday, and then Saturday or Sunday, read a couple of your peers' responses and have a little discussion. All right, it's an easy way to kind of start the semester off with everybody with an A, with a positive 20 points, okay? And when you make your initial discussion, you will add a new discussion topic, and then when you come back, you'll just select a few of your classmates' discussion topics and read some of them, and then reply to those. I try to keep these videos a little shorter than this particular one, but to kind of go over everything, I want to be as thorough as possible. All right, awesome. So you guys have a great weekend. I'll be back as soon as possible. If there's anything else that we need to talk about, feel free just to get used to the course. If you have any issues with the discussion forum through Moodle, just send me an email. And if it doesn't get posted exactly on time, it's not a big deal. We're all kind of getting it figured out, and there may be some discussion forum issues. We never know. So, all right, guys, stay safe, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you. Bye now.